What happened? I got some comments about how to make a puppet or what materials I used. For example, Sharon Stoppable asks, could you please do a basic puppet building tutorial? Nuclear Archnid, I'm sorry if I said that wrong. What materials did you use to make the puppets? And Helena Aim Kadik 6973, again, I apologize for butchering all of your usernames. They ask, what material do you use? I would really like to know, thank you in advance. Now there are many ways to make a sock puppet, but for me personally, always start with socks. Now, I actually had a hard time finding just plain white socks. Just no logos on them whatsoever. A lot of them had logos like on the toe or on the heel, but I managed to find a pack of women's crew socks, and I bought a few, different colored socks for different character skin tones. So when I put the sock on my hand, I don't know if you can see this, but the threaded part there, I always put on the inside of the mouth like this, and then the heel of the sock actually ends up right here on the back of my hand. That way, when I wrap the felt around the body, it covers the heel, and this seam ends up on the inside of the mouth. And I buy a lot of these felt squares. You can get these at just about any craft store for pretty cheap. I just figure out what colors I need and then just go buy up a bunch of the same color. Or sometimes I buy a larger sheet. For example, like black I needed a lot of, so I bought a larger piece of that. For example, Gus's school uniform, just a sheet like this wrapped around my arm. Then I cut the collar out of this larger black piece. And then I use some super glue, but mostly hot glue. I will say when using hot glue, be very careful because it's very painful when you burn yourself. And I have burned myself a lot while making these puppets. Please be careful if you're going to use hot glue. So I would glue on a piece of felt like this, and then I would just pull it really tight in the back here and put a piece of tape on the back. That way, whoever is puppeteering, they can adjust it slightly to fit around their arm and then just tape the back. And it's a little bit adjustable. And googly eyes, cannot forget the googly eyes. I actually found different colored googly eyes at Michael's, and I was very excited when I found different colors. Now for Luce, I don't know if you can tell, but her eyes are a little bit bigger than some of the other characters, because she is the excited, wide-eyed protagonist, She enters the Boiling Isles, everything is new and exciting, and she's just full of wonder. So for her puppet design, she got slightly larger eyes. And for the hair, it's made out of felt as well. Some of the characters, though, do have cardboard inside to help keep the shape. Like Amity's hair is made out of cardboard. Ida's hair is a piece of cardboard covered in felt. Gus's hair has a little bit of cardboard in there. What happened? Okay, let me just... YouTube? Let me just reset everything up here for a moment. Really? Baby, stop it. Okay. A lot of times if I need the hair to be more three-dimensional, I'll glue some felt together and I'll stuff it with fiberfill. That is this fluffy stuff that a lot of times gets used in stuffed animals. I'll fill the head full of this fiberfill and helps it just fill it out, and look more three-dimensional. But that's basically all the materials I use. Again, just socks with no logos, no brand names on them, lots of felt for the clothes and the hair, googly eyes, unless it's a character like Hootie or Owlbeast Ida, because they're more creature than humanoid, they get these horrifying giant button eyes because it makes them look a little bit more unsettling, which I like. If they wear glasses, this is pipe cleaner. Amity's hair, I made that out of cardboard first and then covered it with the felt and then glued it onto the puppet. But yes, that's a brief walkthrough of everything I use. If you have any more specific questions about the process, let me know in the comments if there's anything I can elaborate on. And like I said, I do want to dive deeper into puppet construction at another time. King Clawthorn, IB4WF, can you make an Owl House Steve for us? Yes. From Christmas Shake 8968, did you take any influence or inspiration from the famous Snape Time Bomb video that was a massive YouTube hit about 10 or 15 years ago for this project? Especially considering the Owl House was meant in part to be a deconstruction of the Harry Potter franchise. If so, how did it help shape the project as a whole? To be honest, I forgot all about the Snape Time Bomb video until I read this comment. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's like a classic YouTube video. So no, it did not influence me or the Owl House puppet videos, but I can see the correlation there. Actually, one of my biggest influences and inspirations came from a series of videos called Homemade Movies. There's a YouTube channel called Cinefix, and back in the day they had a series called Homemade Movies. And the host, Dustin McLean, he and his team would recreate a movie scene or a movie trailer every week using homemade items, just whatever they had laying around the house. And those videos were really inspiring to me, and still are. So a few years back, Homemade Movies did a scene recreation from the film Reservoir Dogs, and they did it with sock puppets. And as soon as I had the thought in my head to do an Owl House puppet recap, I immediately thought about that Reservoir Dogs puppet video. I went back and watched it and actually got a lot of ideas for how to construct my puppets from watching that video and watching the behind the scenes of how they made their scene. So that video was actually one of my biggest inspirations. From Crown Kid, will Lego Ida return? Probably not. I think for season 2, I want to incorporate more memes, some different memes, and some different Owl House memes. I actually have a few written down. I haven't started writing the script for season 2 yet, but I have some miscellaneous notes. And of those notes, I wrote down a few memes I want to include in season 2. For example, Hootie sings Little Miss Perfect. Now that meme probably should have been in season 1 because it was more of an early days meme, but I didn't think about it, so I might put it in season 2. Owl House Worms, that was a meme that lasted for maybe a week or two, but that's a funny one I definitely want to include. Enzo Gabrielle, of course I'm going to reference Enzo. I referenced that one in the 30-second Owl House puppet video I did, so there's going to be plenty of Enzo and iPad Kid related memes around the collector, of course. Actually, if there are any more specific Owl House memes that you can think of, let me know down in the comments. I would like to include more memes, definitely. But as far as Lego Ida, probably not. I think I'm going to move on to some different Owl House memes for the future. But I'll never say never, she's a wild one. She might just appear out of nowhere. You never can tell with Lego Ida. True King of Demons, if you were stuck on a desert island, what would be the one food you would eat? Well, my favorite food is pizza, specifically pepperoni and mushroom pizza, but if I had that every single day, I would get pretty sick of it, so I want to say pizza with variety. I would want a variety of pizzas. If it's not too much to ask, please. From the Cheeseburger Gamer 1383, how long did it take to record every single voice line and with the voice actors? Were there any time differences that made it harder to make the video? Also, great work on that video, it was very cool. Thank you, Cheeseburger Gamer, I appreciate that. Slight time difference with some of the actors, but not enough to make it a problem. It was very easy to work around. How long did it take? It took a few months to get everyone's audio, but that was okay, it wasn't a problem. As far as recording, I did get on a Zoom call with Zemi, who played Luce, and we recorded all of her lines in a night. It took maybe an hour, I would say, to record all the Luce lines. And Alex, who played Lilith, I got on a Zoom call with them and recorded all the Lilith lines. That took about, I believe, 30 to 40 minutes to record that entire role. And then I had Kera, Idony, and Thom come here and record in my studio. Trask, who played Principal Bump, I actually drove to his house and I brought all my equipment with me, and we turned his bedroom into like a makeshift studio to record his role. And everyone else, I just asked to record their role on their own time and just send it to me. So it worked out. Xeno Teeth, or Zeno Teeth 3, asks, how did you get to know your voice actors and how did you meet? I'm glad you asked about the voice actors, because I got to work with an amazing group of people. When casting, I reached out to people I wanted to work with, first of all, if I liked their tone of voice and if I thought they were a good fit for the character. Not necessarily do like a good impression of the character, but I just felt like they would be able to embody the character. So you could say I cast based on vibes, which might sound weird, but that's not entirely wrong. I cast based on the person themselves, their tone of voice, and if I thought they were a good fit for the character. Zemi, I met at a con in Florida, and we followed each other on Instagram afterwards. I remember recording the scene where Luce meets King for the first time. I was describing the emotion I wanted, and Zemi was like, oh, cuteness aggression. And I was like, yes, cuteness aggression. And she was like, got it.
Who's a little guy? What?
And she did it, and I was like, yep, that's it, that's perfect. I met Tala at a con in Florida. We've actually hung out at quite a few Florida-based cons together. We did a Steven Universe Q&A sing-along panel a few years back, hosted by a mutual friend, For the Love of Claude. That was a lot of fun. It was fun just hanging out, putting on a show. I haven't seen Tala at a con recently, so hopefully we'll get to hang out again soon at a future con. Kera! I met Kera on Tinder, actually, back in 2018. As I've said before, she is my partner, and I love her very much.
Aww.
Now, Idony and Thom are related to Kera, so I met them through her because they're her family, of course. They are two of the youngest cast members, but they did a great job, and I'm really happy to have them included in Season 1. Zeez Vav G. So I really wanted him involved for the Season 1 recap, so I reached out, and he graciously agreed to voice the character, and I'm really glad to have him on board, because like I said, without him, I wouldn't be doing this, so once again, thanks Zeez, I appreciate it. Now Trask is someone I've known for years. We've been friends for a very long time, and he's someone that he's just on board for whatever. He told me a long time ago, whatever video project you do, I want to be involved somehow. I actually had him read for multiple characters, but as soon as he read for Bump, I was like, yep, that's it, that's the one. Alex. Now Alex is someone I met at a con in Florida, and then we followed up on Instagram. We've actually crossed paths at a few different cons, but haven't had a chance to meet up, so hopefully we'll get to hang out again soon. Bun, I met her on Instagram, and we have played a few rounds of Among Us together, but we've actually not met in person, so hopefully one day we'll be able to actually meet and get to hang out. That'd be cool. I met Shauna back in 2020 at Spirit Halloween, actually. We were co-workers. She was the assistant manager. I only worked at Spirit for maybe a month and a half, not very long at all, but I really enjoyed working with her. We got along great, so I reached out to her for this project to play Puppet Dana Terrace, even though I had to keep that role a secret for a while, and I officially, cast her as Tanella Noza, but really she was on board to play Puppet Dana Terrace. Philip. Now, Philip I met on Instagram first, through mutual friends, but then not long after that, got to hang out with him at a con, and since then we've gotten to hang out at quite a few Florida-based cons, so he's always a good guy to hang out with at a con. So yeah, the cast is made up of people I've met in real life, some just online, some just at cons, but overall, an amazing group of people. Like insanely talented people that I'm still so grateful I got to work with. Do yourself a favor and go follow them on social media. I'm going to have all their links in the description down below. Go check out what they're doing, and you'll be glad you did. I also want to shout out the Metal Coven. They do really awesome metal covers of multiple Owl House songs. I reached out to them asking for permission to use their theme cover in this video, and they said yes, which I was really excited about to get their permission. Go subscribe to the Metal Coven, listen to all their music because it's fantastic. Tell them the Dr. Cog sent ya. So at the end of this video, just go through all the links, go visit all of the people, and just go see all the cool stuff they're doing. Pug Pop-Tart 9450. What is your fave moment in the Owl House? That's a tough question. There are lots of good moments in the Owl House. First thing that comes to mind is Amity asking Luce out, Luce asking Amity out. Of course, that's kind of an obvious answer. I feel like a lot of people would choose that as a favorite moment, but I just love that episode. Knock knock knocking on Hootie's door. The character development for everyone, for King, for Ida, the fact that it was all brought about because of Hootie, that's one of my favorites for sure. But for individual moments, I think of Luce's conversation with Papa Titan, where he says, I can give you my power.
So the question is, will you choose yourself?
I love that moment so much. I feel like that's such an important moment for Luce as a character. Choosing herself, relying on herself, finally putting faith in herself. That's a really big moment. Kind of going along with that theme, The moment from episode 2 where Ida tells Luce, if you wait for someone else to tell you you're special, you'll die waiting.
And that's why you need to choose yourself.
I really love those kind of moments a lot. I also really love just really sweet moments between Luce and King. I really love their sibling dynamic and how much they care about each other. Moments like that really stand out to me. But I mean, it's the Owl House. It's brilliant. It's really hard to choose just one favorite moment. Master Bear 33 asks, who's your favorite Owl House character? Luce. Definitely Luce. She's the best. I love her as a protagonist. I love her personality. I love her positive outlook. I love the character development she goes through in the show. I love how when the show begins, she just wants to live in a fantasy world, wants to escape. But as the show progresses, she has to take responsibility. She has to realize that you can grow up, but still hold on to that sense of wonder. I love how she treats her friends. I love the found family she makes with King and Ida and Hootie. I just love everything about her character. She's such a good character, such a positive character. I also love Ida. I love King. I love Hootie. I mean, again, it's the Owl House. It's hard to find a bad character unless it's Adalia. We can all agree on that, right? Yeah. From Inky Evie, could you make some more? It would be great if you did Willow, Hunter, Amity, and Gus. When you say it would be great if you did Willow, Hunter, Amity, and Gus, do you mean it would be great if I used them more? Because they definitely will be used a lot more. I'm definitely going to make a Season 2 and Season 3 puppet recaps, and those characters will have a lot more to do in those videos. The question I got asked the most was, am I going to make puppet videos for other series? For example, Stars 733, are you going to make Amphibia puppets? Stunned Possum, are you going to make puppets of Gravity Falls? The Wrong Man says, 10 out of 10, it was really funny. Would you make Amphibia Nutshell with puppets? Sunstone, are you going to make other puppets in different fandoms like Amphibia? Oh, the Ghost and Molly McGee. It took me a second to... Are you gonna make other puppets in different fandoms, like Amphibia, the Ghost and Molly McGee, Steven Universe, etc.? And Tsunami 364, are you going to make an Amphibia recap with puppets? That is, if you've watched the show, haha. So right now, there are no plans to do another series as puppets, just because it's so time-consuming and so costly to make all the puppets. If I was to tackle a show like Amphibia, right, I'd have to make that entire cast out of puppets. Or Gravity Falls, just so many more characters to make as puppets. And honestly, I can't afford the cost to make that many characters, or the space. I don't have enough space for all those puppets. So I really want to use the Owl House characters as much as I possibly can before I consider moving on to a different fandom. So maybe when I'm absolutely done making Owl House specific videos, maybe if I'm still interested in puppets, I might do another fandom. But as of now, I've spent the time and the money on these characters. I want to use them as much as I possibly can. So hopefully that makes sense, and I hope you're not too disappointed by that answer. Chico FNAF 7114, after you're done with the Owl House recaps, Season 2 and 3, what will you do next? I'm not sure. I have a lot of original ideas I want to work on. Original web series or short films. I definitely want to work on that stuff, and again, if I'm still excited about puppet videos, I might dive into a different fandom. It just depends. So, we'll see. I'm open to any and all suggestions. Lori Atlantic 3121, can this be the last question? Yes. And that's it. Thank you all so much for submitting your questions. Again, I'm sorry this video took so long to put out, but thank you for hanging in there with me. Thank you for asking all of your amazing questions. I really enjoyed going through and reading all of them. Going forward, I want to work on Season 1 deleted scenes. There was a few scenes from the Season 1 recap I had to take out for whatever reason. I want to go back and film those scenes and then release them as separate videos on the channel. as well as the video series where I take a specific puppet and I break down exactly what went into that puppet. I'm also toying around with the idea of live streams. I know I asked that question a few months ago, and some people seemed really excited about it. I'm really hesitant to do a live stream because I haven't done one before. But if enough people are interested, I'm definitely open to it. Maybe I could build a puppet on a live stream, or take that opportunity to go over a puppet, talk about what went into specifically a certain character. If those sound like fun ideas, let me know. I really enjoy reading the comments, I enjoy your feedback. If I seemed a little bit stiff, a little bit uncomfortable, I'm a little bit nervous talking to a camera. Honestly, I'm trying to get better. So thank you for hanging in there with me. One more thing before I go. I recently met Zeno Robinson, who actually voices Hunter from the Owl House. He's an awesome guy, by the way, really nice guy. And I had him record a video outro for me, so I'm going to throw it over to Zeno right now.
Hey, Hunter here. Thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe for more videos. And remember, us weirdos have to stick together. Bye!
You better believe I'm going to close every Owl House puppet video with that message.